Hello builders, welcome to another zoo tour. In this one I'm going to give you a little tour of our Polar Pass area, which is of course featuring all of our Arctic and cold climate animals in the game. That's including the Arctic fox, the Arctic wolf, Dall sheeps, penguins, polar bears, snow leopards, and two new animals from the most recent expansion, the Eurasian pack, the Wisent and the Takin. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that last one right, because every time I say it, I just want to call them a Tarkin, as in Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars. But that aside, let's get on with the tour. Now transitioning from our North American area here, we have this little ice cave I created, just to let guests feel like they're entering into a completely new climate. And the first exhibit we made, right to the left, is our Arctic Fox exhibit. This one's probably the smallest exhibit out of the whole bunch in this area. But you know, they are small animals, so they don't need that much room. We even have one gray fox in here. I absolutely love the Arctic foxes. Cute little cuddly guys. Here is their sleeping area, and I placed them right up against the glass so that when guests come in and take a look at them, they can get a nice, cute look. We'll step away from the exhibits for a bit, and let's come take a look at our little winter village. Here we have our ice sculptures on display. I figured I might as well use them, because when else am I going to use these props in the game? Here's Snowdale, as named by chat. Right here in the center of town, we got this lovely little campfire area to warm everyone up. The otherwise cold climate in the zone. And the village is just full of food and beverage stalls. Also some bathrooms and stores around here as well. Just everything you need for your zoo experience. While I have you guys here in the village before we start looking at some animals, I'll let you guys know that I will be releasing some time-lapse videos of me building this area in the next few days. Unfortunately, some files became corrupted, so I can't upload anything for Snowdale, the Arctic foxes, Arctic wolves, and Dall sheep. But the good news is I've recovered at least half of the footage, so I can release some time lapses of our Penguin Palace, our Polar Dome for the polar bears, snow leopards, the Wisent, and of course the Tarkins. But here we have a nice final aerial shot of the village. Some nice colorful banners. They just bring everything together, I think. And here we'll just pan the camera over and you can take a look at our little polar train station. Nothing too fancy about this one, just a little queue line and a little docking station for the train. Just one of the many stops that will be in the zoo. Here we have the Bleating Mountain, as named by chat. And right here we have this lovely little rock wall. The goats' pathing works perfectly with it, and they'll actually move up and down the rocks. Or in many cases, we'll just jump between them. Right here is their barn, and look at them all sleeping in it. Here's another waterfall. You'll come to notice that in all the exhibits in this area, I'll put waterfalls in. This way it looks like the ice-capped mountains around the valley are slowly thawing out and feeding into the exhibits. And right here we have our Arctic wolves, and just a little cave for guests to come and see them. I think I may have gave them a little bit too large of an exhibit, but you know what? I love them. They're the best boys, the good boys, the wolves. You'll see just how large this exhibit is as we progress through it. This side is more green and lush, and as we get to the other side, it becomes more of a winter landscape. And of course, another waterfall. A beautiful ice waterfall. And right here is the winter side of the exhibit. Lots of food and toys over here to attract them. Plus we have our river flowing through the habitat, which will eventually flow into the penguin habitat. That's one thing I like doing in my builds, is having water flow between habitats whenever I get the chance. And this right here is the exit of the train station, where we'll go off into another area of the zoo, yet to be determined. Now let's fly through Penguin Palace. This build took me a little longer than I originally hoped. Probably 2 or 3 days in the end. Most of the time sink was involved with me fiddling with the barriers and, of course, the pathing. If you've played this game at all for any amount of time, I'm sure you understand the pain that is the pathing of Planet Zoo. But you know what? We all love this game anyways, regardless of it. In the end, the Penguin Palace worked out well. The little viewing area made it look like an iceberg, and guests can come underneath and get a nice view of the penguins. And everything down here is just a little frozen over to continue with the iceberg theme. Right through this door, guests can come in and enter the habitat, just to get a few selfies with their penguin buddies. And here inside the cave, we just have a little hole. The penguins can jump into it and go right into the water. When I'm building these exhibits, I usually try to make things from the guest perspective, which is why you'll see things like feeders and stuff like that in the water covered by rocks only from one side, just so guests can't see them. From one snowy exhibit to another one, let's come on over to the polar bears. Like the penguins, I found it difficult doing the polar bear exhibit, mostly because I couldn't rely on foliage to really fill out the area, as in the South Pole and North Pole, there doesn't tend to be a lot of trees, or bushes, or grass, or really anything green. Down here we have just a little educating area with a few seats, and gives guests a chance to see the polar bears swimming. Since I couldn't use foliage, I tried to fill out the exhibit with mostly just snow and rocks, as best I could. Maybe a few dead trees here and there. And there we have just a pond filled with ice for them to swim in. Right here is our polar dome, just a giant igloo for guests to walk around and see the bears and take a look at their sleeping cave. A nice 360 view of it. Building this took a while, but not quite as long as the penguin habitat. But overall, I'm happy with it this turned out. In a few days, I will release a time lapse of this building so you can see how I did it. From here, we'll make our way over to the Wisent, one of the newer animals from the Eurasian pack. Of course, we got started off by showing off this beautiful waterfall. I feel like my waterfalls just get better and better the more I build them. And our little barn that we made here. Unfortunately, when I release a time lapse for doing this exhibit, I won't be able to show the building of this barn, as that part was corrupted in the file save. But the rest of it will be up. So at least you can see me building the Wisent and the Taken. Personally, I love these guys, just like I like the American Bison. Something about that big rumbling sound that comes through your headphones as you're building just makes it feel so real. Right here we have a barn for the Tarkans, just like the Wisent. And over here is another little exhibit for them, where they can just run around and play, and just contemplate destroying planets starting with the letter A. But hey, they got some cute noses, so you know what, I just want to cuddle with them. And lastly, we'll just fly through here and take a look at our final animal, the snow leopards. Oh, do you hear that? I think it's the sound of something. What's this? That's another waterfall. Oh yes, I like adding waterfalls. And this one feeds a river that does feed into the polar bear habitat as well. Alright, now we come to the final one, snow leopards. There's this lovely little glass dome here. Guests can walk in and get a nice view of the snow leopards, and the snow leopards can get a nice view of them. As you'll see here, they can hang out above the guests and just salivate as they stare at them. And here we just have a bunch of climbing frames all over their exhibit. Because cats love climbing no matter what size they are. And don't worry, this is the last waterfall you'll have to see. With climbing animals, you always have to be wary about putting trees around the back of exhibits. So instead, I just put some lower climbing frames. Oh, nice jump there, buddy. And right here on the edge, we have the more green side of the exhibit. Guests can travel through this cave and peer outside. And then come to here where they can see the sleeping area. This place also doubles as a viewing area for the polar bear habitat. And this concludes the polar area tour. We'll finish off with a little bit of a flyby. We have a long way to go for our World Zoo project, but we'll get there in the end. We finished 3 of my planned areas, but there's plenty more to go. Right now over on Twitch we're working on our Aztec area, which will be for all our South American animals. If you guys have enjoyed any of this, then I guess you can do that YouTube thing where you hit the subscribe button and the like button, leave a comment, you know, all that fun stuff that YouTubers usually like to ask for. And if you want to take part in the building process, click the link down below and join me over on Twitch. I stream Planet Zoo most nights of the week, and a few other games during the day. What games? Well, maybe you'll just have to stop by and find out. But really, any game that lets me build something, I'll usually be interested in. Well, builders, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll catch you next time. Happy building!